Hello, welcome to your daily oracle reading. So I have 4 piles for you today. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4. Making your selection, I will meet you at your pile. So pile number 1, you have the Triumph of Lies card. So this is the number 1. Today is a significant day in terms of communication and really stripping back and being more direct, going back to basics, maybe seeing through people, maybe even seeing through yourself. So there's a lot to do with communication and truth. Communication and truth. I'm going to take a look at the guidebook to see if there are any additional messages for you today. So this is the card number 1. Moon phase waxing gibbous. If something hurts me, I change myself so it can stop. Okay, so the sentence for this card is not all that glitters is gold. Emptiness is felt when there is nothing under the dress. So this is really talking about something that is very, it's like a path you've followed or a way that you've changed yourself to fit with someone that wasn't authentic to you. It was, maybe you needed a friend. Maybe you wanted to impress someone romantically and you thought the only way that you could do that is by, and it's not even lying. It's sort of like, oh, this is okay. And then it becomes not okay. But I'll read the card and then maybe those messages will resonate with you as well. The Triumph of Lies is about appearance, and appearance is always so important in the world. Day by day, it seems more important. Can that be a lie too? We seek to be what the world outside desires and not necessarily society at large. Our family, our partners, our friends place judgments on what we should be. In the dress we choose, we carve a mask of expectations, behaviors, and values to live by. It offers stability to ourselves and to our relations, as being honest and true to ourselves can be too tiring, too easy to make us hurt. Unfortunately, the relationship with our own mask is not as straightforward as it feels. Inside the mask, envy grows, vanity takes root, lack of self-confidence becomes a habit. It gnaws at us and hurts us from the inside. It feels like it is ourselves, but it is not really authentic. It is just a lie we have made, a habit to believe in. When our lies become a gilded cage and our dress becomes a burden, we should remember that we were born naked. All right, and let's see if we have any additional messages from the language of flowers for you today. So if you're looking to go a bit deeper, maybe check out one of my other videos, or if you're looking for a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. So we have Wisteria, Longevity, Plan for and Take the Dedicated Path. And this dedicated path, you're being reminded, is yourself. If authenticity is hard to measure, but maybe your aligned self, because alignment shifts. And authenticity tends to imply something fixed. And we have stop. Slow down. The pace must abate before it's too late. So maybe you've sped up on the path that is not your own, something of that nature. Taking that into account. So that's what I have for you, pile number 1. I hope this was helpful. Please leave a comment down below and take care. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. And you have Bride in a Cage. I'm really feeling that there are some sort of expectations that are going to come to the fore today. So something to do with formality, tradition, expectations, commitments, that sort of thing. Number 21, we're going to take a look at the guidebook and see what additional messages there are for you. This guidebook is, I don't think it was written by a native English speaker, or it's been translated into English, so it has some really interesting messages actually. And the saying for this is, tomorrow will be the right moment. Tomorrow will be better, even if today is hell. If you're watching this in the morning, I do apologize. But remember, tomorrow is another day. Sometimes it's good to get bad news at the beginning of the day. I like it because then I don't wallow in it as much, I think. It's like, oh, there it is. There's the thing I was watching out for. Anyway, let's keep going. So we have a sentence, did we die waiting for the perfect day, or were we never alive? This is really being in the future tense. Okay, yeah, so a lot of anxiety bouncing up and down in the belly. Let's just take a breath. Let's just take a nice, long, slow, deep breath. Setting aside those expectations, those things that you have building up, that chatter in your head, just take a breath. Take this moment. And it says, when we put the good of our life just in our expectations, we can dismiss the present, waiting for the dawn we know will arrive. The future becomes a shopping cart. It needs a bit of this and a bit of that, a few kilograms of that, and also a couple boxes of another this. When we look at it, it shines like a brand new day in a commercial. And as it happens with commercials, when the future comes, it is not exactly perfect. The smile is forced, the day is too hot or too cold. The kiss is dry, the lion limps slowly and doesn't roar. As long as something is not here, but is pushed further along the timeline, we have the luxury to take it off of reality and treat it as a fantasy. We push forward and push forward until we actually catch up with our dream, and then we crush. The future should not feel like a cage, not even a gilded, wonderful, handmade designer cage. The future is a tree, gnarled, rough to the touch, full of flowers only in spring, dense and damp through the rain. Absolutely imperfect. And to add to that, I'm going to get you some... Which deck should I use for this? I think we're going to do Whispering Woods for you today to see if there are any additional messages for you. Oh, and we have our first message is patience. Something that you're creating, something that you have expectations for is coming to fruition. But patience is needed, and especially with yourself and today. Everything can be accomplished at nature's pace. So you're reminded that you don't always have control over the way things move or the way things work out. And one more. Message for pile number 2. This one here. Grounded. Keep to your roots and stand taller than trees. Standing in this moment. So with that breath, grounding down your feet. And this is what I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much. I wish you a beautiful day, and we'll see you soon. Pile number 3, welcome to your daily oracle pull. So let's see what wisdom we have for you today. Peaceful among the thorns. there's a stillness. It's like the wheel of fortune is turning. Things are happening that are beyond your control, and you're advised to stay at the center of the storm. You're advised to stay calm as all of that chaos swirls around you. So this is, coworkers, family members, things just going crazy, things falling off the shelves, potentially like a lot of kinetic energy around you, and you're just sitting still at the center, not literally necessarily, but just being still with what is coming, being at peace with what is unfolding and transgressing. This is card number 26. We're going to take a look at the guidebook and see what additional wisdom it has for us today. So I hope this finds you well. This moon phase is first quarter. And it says, the spiritual can't solve the material, but it can transcend it. Coexistence of the material and the spiritual is the human way to enlightenment. And so I think from my intuitive message, and to blend it with this one, this is really talking about how, the wheel of fortune turns in ways that we can't necessarily control. And there are things that, like material changes, that happen on a spiritual level first. But let's see what other things there are here. So we talk too much about spiritual stuff, spiritual that, spiritual this. I'm really feeling this right now. I'm sorry to digress, but I am really feeling this. Not that the spiritual side is important, it isn't important, and especially in an age when everything seems reduced to the materialistic drive. But aren't we going too much to the other side? Interesting. I have a money problem, go spiritual. I have a health problem, go spiritual. I have a love problem, think of true love and go spiritual. I want to have sex, go spiritual. If we were truly able to solve problems like this, what is spiritual would have been sold in grocery stores. Sometimes to solve money problems, you need money. And to solve love problems, you need to fuck. Strange but true. Getting spiritual is not what solves our problems. It is what gives depth to our solutions. I love this. It makes them meaningful. It takes us from the small to the wide, from the river to the ocean. But sometimes we are not ready to make it our center, and therefore it's perfectly fine if we do not. So let's get some, maybe it feels like grounded wisdom that you need. So let's do some crystal wisdom cards for you. So just 2 crystal wisdom cards, please, for my pile number 3 to see what advice there is for them today, or mantras that might be helpful. We have Brazilianites, and it looks like this. Flexibility. I am flexible and free to be me. So whatever that means for you. And Moonstone cycles. I am in the divine flow of my soul rhythm and life cycles. And that's that wheel turning there. That there's a rhythm, which to me is not high spiritual, it's more elemental. But you have to come to one of my workshops to hear about that, I think. Anyway, that's what I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Pile number 4, welcome to your Oracle Wisdom for the day. And you have the card Blinded to Pain. This is not a day that will yield solutions. It might be a good time to take some time to yourself, or to be more reflective than active, to look inward rather than outward, If there's any problem to solve, start with looking inward for solutions rather than going to others. And if there is a fly in the ointment, staying silent about it rather than calling it out right away. That's what I'm getting. But let's take a look at the book and see if there are any additional messages for you. These cards are beautiful when they're lit by the candles. And this is number 13, Moon Phase, Waning Crescent. I can shoulder it and it's not a big deal, is it? Isn't it? Carving oneself for every stroke of the whip and feeling so broken that it makes no difference to be whole. So there's a lot of pain in this card. This may resonate for some of you. Maybe the intuitive message was more for you. T.S. Eliot said, "A fly that lives a single day has lived as long as we. Yet we accept the passage of time like it didn't matter, like we don't matter. Every day a single line is added to the pattern. A single fly is added to the wall. We take one more responsibility. We take a little more abuse. We shoulder a little more pain. We smile in front of a little more insolence. We close our eyes to our wounds. We think we can endure it. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. We say to ourselves. Like men, because it is manly to endure and to be strong. Like women, because it's feminine to endure and be strong. Like humans, because the care and gentleness we feel is precious to others and we don't care to actually claim it for ourselves. After all, we can do it, but it actually hurts. It's painful. Tears are better than feeding flies with our own blood. We can scream and say no or endure nevertheless, but remembering that we are just humans, neither heroes nor saints." So it's a really powerful message for you today. And what do you need? Passage, maybe a little bit of passage. Let's do some divine doors for you today. Can I get a door for pile number 4? I didn't mean to rhyme. This is the door you have received. And it says, change beckons. The path is shifting. The road leads a new way. Do not be alarmed as change beckons today. I really feel like this is a change related to how you allow others to treat you and how you treat others and how you trust yourself. These are not one-day lessons either. It's just that they might be coming to a head at this time. And nomad. The nomadic wanderer lies deep inside, so take a leap now. Don't crawl back and hide. There's an emergence that goes along with bringing your gaze inward, and this is your cave. Your cave. This is your door and your cave. Both of them are sort of covered before you even get there, so they may not be obvious doors to you. They come through shadows and they come through struggle. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.